Welcome back to the channel! Today we're going to talk about how to play and beat Obby in Roblox. I'll share the main tricks, give you some useful tips, and even tell you a couple of fun stories from my own experience. So make sure to watch until the end. I promise it's going to be both helpful and entertaining. Let's start with the basics. What is an obby? In Roblox, obby means obstacle course maps, where players need to move from the start to the finish, jumping over platforms, avoiding traps, and keeping balance on narrow paths. It's basically a virtual obstacle course, and they come in all kinds of shapes, from simple training maps for beginners to huge complex levels with hundreds of stages where every second matters. Why are obbies so addictive? First, they train patience and focus. Second, they're always a challenge. Can you go further than last time? And finally, it's about the thrill. Falling on the 99th stage and restarting from the beginning can be so frustrating. But it's exactly what makes you come back again and again. Now, let's talk about technique. The very first rule is camera control. If you keep your camera only behind your character, half of your jumps will be blind. Instead, tilt the camera slightly from above and at an angle. That way you can clearly see both where you're landing and what's coming next. Second tip, don't rush. Most beginners fail because they're in a hurry. Obby isn't about speed, at least not when you're just learning. It's better to move slowly and land each jump carefully than to fall and waste time restarting. Third, practice timing. You'll often see moving platforms, disappearing blocks, or trap walls. These all move in a rhythm. If you figure out the rhythm, the obstacles become much easier. Sometimes it's better to wait a few seconds, watch how the objects move, and then make your jump. Fourth, use shift lock. In Roblox settings, there's an option to lock the camera, making your movements more precise. This is super helpful on narrow paths and thin platforms. If you often feel like your controls are slippery, shift lock will definitely help. Now let's look at the different types of obbies. There are classic parkour maps where you just jump across blocks and platforms. There are lava maps where you have to leap over fiery pits. Some levels are icy, and the surface is slippery, so you need to plan your movement ahead of time. And there are puzzle-based maps too, where instead of jumping a lot, you have to find the right path. All of them are fun in different ways. Let me tell you my first story. I once played a map with 100 stages. Around stage 30, there was a thin path, just one block wide. Beneath it, an endless void. At first, I fell 3 times in a row. Then I realized I was rushing too much. I turned on shift lock, slowed down, and carefully walked forward, step by step. Finally, I made it to the end. And honestly, it felt like I had just passed a real-life challenge. Here's another story. On a different map, I reached a level with disappearing platforms. They would vanish less than a second after you stepped on them. You had to jump non-stop, almost without breathing. I rushed across 1, 2, 3 platforms, and suddenly I hesitated. Boom! I fell. Had to restart the whole thing. At first it drove me crazy, but then I figured out the rhythm, kept my focus, and managed to clear it. And that's what makes obbies so fun. You're always on the edge, either fully concentrated or falling down. So, let's sum it up. To beat obby, you need to keep the camera at the right angle, move carefully instead of rushing, master the timing of moving obstacles, use shift lock for precise movement, and most importantly, practice and never give up. In Roblox, it doesn't matter how many times you fall. What matters is that each time you're improving and getting closer to the finish. That's why obbies are so addicting. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed this breakdown. If you want more videos like this with tips, stories, and map reviews, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. And tell me in the comments what was the hardest obby you've ever played, and at which stage did you get stuck? I'd love to read your stories. Thanks for watching all the way through. More awesome videos are coming soon, so don't miss them. Good luck with your ABI runs, and I'll see you in the next video.